Hello, I'm Britton Glennet and welcome to China Insight, where we discuss the latest issues affecting this rapidly changing country. Well, talking about death is uncomfortable in any culture, but that's even more true in China, where common belief in the past dictated that talking about death was kind of like inviting it into your home. So it comes as no surprise that this unwillingness to deal with death has made the process of making wills here a little difficult. Well, joining me in the studio today to discuss the topic is Professor Gao Xiang from the China University of Political Science and Law. He's also a former Supreme People's Court judge. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Could you start by explaining the process of making wills in China to those who might not know about it, especially for people who aren't in China?
Under our succession law, we got 5 types of wills, basically. The first one, I think that's the notary public, what we call the notary will. The other one is it's really the estate himself or herself written will. The third one, in the current law, we still have this is somebody can written will for the person who is leaving the will, because our law was promulgated in the 1980s. At that time, I think even today, we still have some people who don't know how to write.
So what is it like for people who can't write?
Well,
what do
they
they
just
do?
ask somebody to write for or behalf,
Right.
yeah, for them, but that have to be witnessed by these 2 people. The other one is like a recorded will, and the other one is called oral will. Sometimes in urgent emergency, you are just because something may be dying and you want to leave a will for your assets to be allocated to somebody.
Right.
So 5 types of wills.
Okay.
In China. So just depends which type of will you are going to use. Yeah.
Is it quite complicated?
If just I write it myself, it should be easier because, if you go to a notary public, you have to go through the whole process.
Could you give us just a quick brief of perhaps the problems that might come from writing wills in China?
The problem is, it's still, I think people don't know maybe the forms, what the elements should be there. So you may miss, especially the skill or what kind of assets you can, because you may sometimes you think it's yours, but it's not. So all this stuff will be complicated.
Okay, well, that's one of many of the problems that we looked into in the following report about the process of will making in China. Let's take a look.
74-year-old Wang Xiuhuan is writing her will at her home, a small apartment in downtown Beijing that, following years of skyrocketing housing prices, is now valued at almost $1 million. She wants to ensure there is clarity concerning how she wants her property disposing of following her death.
在我有生之年呢，我就愿意把我的东西给他们分配好了，将来以后呢，省得有些麻烦，免得他们以后呢，因为这个争吵伤和气。我百年不在了以后了，那就是他们一看这东西，那就是很明显，这就该给谁给谁，没有必要打架了。
Wang Xiuhuan's concerns have been fueled by a number of high-profile lawsuits, occasioned by the death of celebrities who have left an invalid will or no will at all. Irrespective of the outcome, such lawsuits inevitably tear apart the families involved. One such case was that of the famous painter Xu Linlu, who died in 2011 at the age of 95. He left behind scores of paintings and antiques, with a total value estimated at 2 billion yuan, or some $300 million. His wife and 2 eldest sons, who in line with Chinese tradition inherited the bulk of his estate, were challenged in court by his 6 other children. During the hearing, one of his children spoke about the sense of guilt she felt at resorting to legal action.
我也不对，妈，我真对不起您了。他们要分我这，妈，我不对，我先做原告吧。
您那个一份儿一份儿说一下。
今儿是我爸的生日，你说说。
The case continued for almost 2 years. In the end, the court upheld the validity of Xu Linlu's will, which granted his wife the sole right to inherit her husband's estate. But the disposal of a deceased's possessions is not just a problem for the rich and famous. The number of court cases brought by ordinary citizens is also on the rise. According to statistics from Beijing's High Court, of all legacy-related lawsuits, 3/4 result from the absence of a will. Yet the existence of a bequest is no guarantee. When a will's validity is in question, in some 60% of cases, the matter ends up in court. Confronted with trillions of yuan's worth of inheritance to be disposed of every year, the courts are completely overwhelmed. It doesn't help anyone that court hearings can be lengthy and emotionally draining. After both their parents passed away, Cao Jun and his younger sister wanted to divide the family home in central Beijing between them. But since their parents had failed to draw up a will, they had no option other than to settle the matter in court. However, complications arose because the court was obliged to rule in accordance with the law of inheritance. Cao Jun's mother died several years before his father, while the grandmother on his mother's side passed away shortly after his mother. According to the law, the maternal grandmother inherited 1/4 of her late daughter's property, including part of the house. After the grandmother's passing, her share of the house went to her surviving children.
这个房子实际上跟我舅舅、我姨、我姥他们没有任何的关系，但是，一旦他们有这个权利，需要他们同意，需要他们签字，
签的字是放弃，
他们必须得承诺放弃继承。跟我们私下都聊，心里都大鼓。
如果他们不放弃的话，这2间房你们也还是拿
不行，而且他们放弃，他们必须得到厅。
Cao Jun's uncle and one of his aunts live in Beijing. They agreed to sign the document and appear in court. However, it was impossible for the remaining aunt, who lives thousands of miles away in Yunnan province and is approaching 90, to make the long and difficult journey to Beijing. To everyone's relief, the judge ruled that she could provide a recorded statement instead. Even so, the whole process lasted for 4 long months.
准备就要他这证据，来回跑，递过去又不行，又重新开，完了。 就是这个耽误时间，还是对这些继承法的应该是，不了解，欠缺对这块继承法的这块的知识的欠缺，应该是。我觉得关键还认为它不是个事儿。如果你要真的意识到了，觉得这是个事儿的话，后期有这么麻烦，像我那肯定当时写一个其实并不难。
To encourage citizens to protect their families from such legal hassle and potential conflict, in 2013, the China Aging Development Foundation set up the China Will Registration Center. It offers a free service, advising seniors aged over 60 on drawing up, registering, and filing a will. Initially, though, even its management was skeptical about the center's prospects.
一开始我们还是挺紧张的，觉得这个事物会不会被别人这个抵触、抗拒啊？
毕竟这个中国人是讳言死和与死相关的衣着等等。
对，会觉得很晦气。但是我们也很欣喜的看到这种转变越来越快。从以前不考虑到考虑，从以前躲着到公开谈。以前保险业刚进入中国的时候。 大家一听保险，哎呀，很晦气，我为什么要买保险？是不是说我在死啊？但现在大家不这么看了，那也是一种进步，一样的道理。
Since its opening, the center has been kept quite busy, registering and filing around 50,000 wills in just 3 years. and a constant stream of new clients are finding their way to the center. A long waiting list has built up, meaning it can take months to get a will registered. To meet this increasing demand, the center now has 2 offices in Beijing, as well as others in the port city of Tianjin and the southern province of Guangdong. Registration takes on average less than 20 minutes per client. The standard procedures cover assessment, fingerprinting, picture taking and videotaping. To ensure that the process goes smoothly, staff guide the senior citizens every step of the way. Wang Xiuhuan has come to register her will.
阿姨，您有带你写的遗嘱吗？
带来了。
啊，好，给我看一下好吗？
好。
您这份遗嘱啊，虽然写的是很这个情真意切，但是呢，您这个遗嘱啊，在法律上啊，它有一些漏洞，所以呢，这样，您这份遗嘱啊，作为一个参考啊，今天呢，我们重新给您起草一份遗嘱，由工作人员询问您的情况，您就回答他啊，然后呢，他根据您的意愿，先替您起草，然后您来确认这份遗嘱是不是符合您的意愿，好吧？好。
After her will is rewritten and printed out, Miss Wang enters the recording booth. Apart from the registrar and 2 witnesses, no one else is allowed to be present when Wang Xiuhuan goes through the recording process.
是在一个密室啊，单间，只有工作人员和老人，老人的家属都不能在场。那么这样呢，保证是老人的真实意愿。你在这个隔离的空间里面，你没有受到胁迫。 你没有受到不正常的影响和干扰，它的目的都是为了解决法律上所存在的风险。
After the recording, Miss Wang receives a registration certificate, and her official will is placed on file. Tens of thousands of wills are kept here, only to be withdrawn by the appointed heirs upon the client's death. Experts say institutions such as the China Will Registration Center offer a vital service for senior citizens.
他们可以帮助去想立遗嘱的人去做比较符合规范要求的这种遗嘱。那么这样呢，能够保证等到一旦遗嘱发生效力的时候，它能够起到那个约束的作用。那就按照遗嘱去继承去，那避免发生纠纷。
With the current law of inheritance often deemed overly complex and unpredictable, many senior citizens are reassured by having their wills registered, in the knowledge that this ensures they have the final say in who benefits from their life's work. 101-year-old Deng Lianfang has 5 children. In her will, she is giving everything she owns to the youngest of them.
您想把您的房子还有钱都给这小女儿是吗？
有多少给多少，有啥都给她。
您自个儿的财产您自己做主。
我这当然。
真棒。
我这是说话算话。我还能说。
是他为什么要给我？有一个前提，是因为我女儿是弱智，我就这一个女儿。他就是惦记她，就是他40多岁还没结婚，就这么一个女儿，他就不放心她。
70-year-old Yang Lianxi has 2 sons. One of them has made it clear he wants his father's money, but has been treating him very badly. Now Mr. Yang has drawn up a will that cuts this son out of the inheritance.
您告诉他您立遗嘱了，他没问这遗嘱立的什么内容，
全说了，全说明白了。我死了没你的，什么东西都没你的，完了，对他是个震慑，让他自力更生。让他劳动，做到。
事实上做到了吗？
事实上做到，现在有动静，开始好点。
那您立的遗嘱有一部分原因是想救这个孩子。
对，正确。
A will can also be an opportunity for a senior citizen to pass on something other than wealth. 76-year-old Guan Ying is a professor with the Central Academy of Drama. In her will, she is leaving her sons a message explaining her understanding of life.
人的一辈子，所以能活得快乐和充实，我觉得就是要有两个心态，一个是你的责任心，一个是你感恩的心。你有了这两个，你一定是一生非常快乐。
就是说，别人呢是把钱留给儿女，您是想把您这一辈子的这种温暖的活法留给孩子。
是，所以我就要他们从身边做起，从你们之间做起，你们血脉相连，你们要相依相顾，是吧？你们要互相帮助。我觉得妈妈很幸福，就是因为别人给了我很多，那么你们也要这样去对待别人。这个爱是相互的，什么都是相互的。
With Professor Guan's approval, the China Will Registration Center made a copy of her message to her children and posted it in the reception hall as an inspiration for other senior citizens writing their wills. Free message cards are also available, encouraging those writing a will to leave their children not only something to spend, but also something to ponder.
It's kind of interesting, isn't it, leaving this sentimental note. Do you hear about that a lot?
Yes. It's very interesting, I think. Yes, the stories are very interesting here.
Yeah, but of course one of the main things that came up was the family feuds, you know, that might ensue. They said 3/4 of the feuds that arise, you know, happen because there was no will there to refer to.
Well, I think the functions of the wills are actually, at least basically two are very obvious, as shown here. First, if you have a will, you can dispose your assets according to your own will. Say one of the mothers was going to give all his assets to his daughter, to her daughter, and because the daughter has a daughter who was mentally not well. Another thing is when you have a will, you say I'm going to my son, let's say 30%, to my daughter 80%, to 70%, whatever. And that's your will, and you can void the family feuds or disputes after you die.
If you distribute equally?
Well, not really. In your will, you can just give one of them 100%, another 0. Like in the video. Actually,
there's not much they can do if that's...
The old gentleman was saying he was trying to save one of the sons. The son wanted the money, and he doesn't want to work. Then his father said, hey, I'm not going to give you anything. You have to work out your own way.
It was a lesson. It was teaching him a lesson in some ways.
But actually, he can, in his will... Well, this is probably, we don't know, because we have a rule here. The last will prevails over the wills you made previously.
Right.
Yes. Maybe he later changed his mind and said, he's now getting to be better now.
It's interesting.
Yes.
So it's almost like a tacit bargain, like the string attached there.
But some of the purposes, really, you can serve those purposes. But some of the bad guys, if you say, I'm not going to give you, they may threaten you to do something bad.
So how often do you get a situation where you are using it as a tool to get them to do something so that they will work, so that they will do this, do that? Does that happen a lot?
This really depends on people, really. What we can see here is the old gentleman was saying one of his sons, he was not good. But because he is not going to give him anything and cut all that, his son has to think about what should I do, and I have to make a living myself. That's why he is. But some may just say, they just say, they start to hate you, maybe try to either to kill you. This is one of the areas where academics are suggesting we should revise the law, because if they say attempt to kill, right, and under the current law, they are barred from succession. Or some of the proposals now say if they have later feel regretted and their parents forgive them, they
have a chance of getting the money again.
Yes, and the law should be changed because under current law, if they have attempted to kill, that's the law. They are barred from.
What's your opinion of this?
Well, I think.
Surely, if you try and kill a parent, you don't deserve their money.
Yes, but sometimes especially kids, they're emotional. Especially today, we have some of the kids that are very spoiled. It's just not like before. See, this law was made in 1985.
Yes, China has come a long way since then.
Especially last 30 years, we have a lot of institutions. We have a single, actually, one-child policy. At that time, one-child policy just started. People have a number of kids now. Now you have only one kid, right?
Little emperors.
Yeah, when you spoil them, when they make a mistake, you are also responsible. Sometimes, yes, I think if you have a bad kid, it's not just responsibility of the bad kid itself. Yeah. Maybe the parents should also be responsible. And later they say, I'll forgive you. And the kid will say, oh, I was wrong. They should not be barred from that.
I just wonder when it comes to the process of will making, whether things can be made a little bit less complicated than we witnessed in the video. Is there a process online that could be implemented?
Well, that's a very good question. I think the trend is we are doing things online. But this is a problem with evidence. For wills are very personal. If you are not personally there, that might be a problem later in evidence. See, it's because wills express your will. It's your will, it's your meaning, your consent. So I think the internet can be used maybe later, say, submit some of my, say, maybe we see the lady first, say, she got a written will first, right? That might be sent to them first. Then they check, and when she comes, it saves time, and they just formulate this, and if it's right in your meaning, you decide. You don't have to wait. What they are saying is people are queuing there for a long time. I think we can use that online element to get these things more, save some time, but I think you still have to be there, at some stage to be person. At least you have to sign it.
Right. So, I guess it comes down to validating the importance of validating documents and assets. Right.
A lot of disputes or family feud related to wills are they genuine? That's very important.
Okay, I want to talk to you a little bit more about this. We're going to take a quick break. Stay with us. Hello, welcome back to China Insight. I'm joined by Professor Gao from the China University of Political Science and Law, and we've been discussing the process of will making in China. Well, China Insight took to the streets to ask elderly people in Beijing whether they would leave a will and what reservations they might have about leaving one. Let's take a look.
我没想这事儿呢，没想过呢，那得立啊，你要不然就得掐呀，是吧？趁着活着把这事儿赶紧弄明白了。
就是该立就立呗，你想谁对你孝顺，对你怎么着，你就给他，这不能说最后的决定。他有时候光为了钱，他不管你，光拿走钱宝了也不行，你这都得是最后，差不多什么时候才能那什么呢？这个是遗嘱，老人也不好留，你留完了哥们儿姐们也打架，留给谁不给谁，你说？他有几个孩子，他都想给。
So there's a lot in there about people saying, it's going to lead to arguments if you don't leave a will. A lot of people kind of passionate about it. Yeah. What do you think? Is this kind of a real gauge of what people's opinions are?
Well, I think people starting to understand this. I think one of the functions for wills is they can save a lot of trouble after they die.
Have you seen that change? Have you seen that kind of attitude towards will making change in China?
Well, I think gradually people to accept that because really, I think that everywhere people don't like to talk about death, but when they are like, also they have considerations, say, if you have a number of kids, when you leave a will, they will say, oh, what you have said maybe stir up some kind of trouble if they, but as with what we have say, if you go to the registration, you do it privately, I think people say, oh, for the harmonious of my kids, I should do that. I think the principle for will is you have to follow the will of that. You say it's my will, or it's what I want, and who I'd like to leave the assets to. Yes, and we got one of the typical examples is under current law. It's a kind of people think it's unfair. It's one of the associate professors died. He didn't marry, didn't have any kind of people successor in our law.
So what happened?
And actually, what it was reported, it was his niece helped him, and but under current law,
there's no way of.
No.
So where does
because
the money
he didn't,
go? Where do the assets go?
The result was that, actually, under current law, his assets should go to his organization, the university.
Oh.
But even his university thinks it was unfair. So his university later gave some of that to his niece.
But that's a unique case. I can imagine how many situations become problematic when you give to an organization and they don't want to pass the money on to the niece or the nephew. Or
well, what I'm saying is that point, it's actually because our successors, the scale of that successors are a bit narrow. I think it was, when the law was made, it was not properly considered. I think those areas should be
as a Chinese person, can you pass your inheritance on to, say, me?
Say, if you have nothing, let's say between us, we have no family relationship, but we have been friends for many years, and you assist me and I assist you, and I don't want my assets to go to anybody, or I can just give you some under law, because in will, I can only give to those who are entitled to.
Right. And the only people that are entitled is
you are outsider.
Kids.
Then I can make agreement.
Right.
Say, according to this agreement, and this agreement has a priority over the will and the statutory provision over succession.
Right.
So we can.
It's a lot of complicated terms, but thank you very much for clarifying them for us today, Professor Gao.
Well, thank you. It's my pleasure.
If you have any comments or questions, please email us at chinainsight@cctv.com, or you can reach us on Facebook, Weibo, or WeChat. And we'll see you next time for more stories and discussion on China out of China. Goodbye.